Now, how might people know you? Because for some people, they may not have any idea of who you are, but what are some of the things that you might have done that people would know of?
Yeah. So I've been a professional actor for since the age of 6 years old. So probably seen me around a little bit, even if you don't realize it.
Yeah.
But some of the more recent things I've worked on, I'm working on a show right now that's on Netflix all around the world, and a CBC show called Heartland. And I've done a lot of professional theater as well, and many film and TV productions.
Allahu Akbar. In 2016, you appeared in 10 episodes of BBC America's series Orphan Black.
Yeah.
Which some people would know is, was a major series.
Yeah,
won a bunch of awards. Tatiana Maslany.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. She actually won an Emmy for that series. And you were in that series, like a good role. You had a pretty good role in it. 10 episodes. Who did you play? Do you remember?
I played Tatiana Maslany's son. Yeah.
You're the son guy.
I'm the son guy, man. What can I say?
So you're everybody's son, mashallah. Okay. Then you featured in a TV series called Between.
Yep.
Okay. Then you starred in Just in Time, which is an animation series. And who did you play in Just in Time?
I played Justin.
So you were the star
Yeah.
of Just in Time. That a series, an animation series that received 3 wins, 11 nominations. Okay. How did you discover Islam? Like what in your journey? I mean, you're living on this higher echelon of actors and you're in Hollywood. Like what made you want to search towards Islam as a way of life?
Yeah, I think I've always been somebody who values the truth, and obviously that sounds like a very obvious statement that everybody should hold true to, but it's not the case with everybody. A lot of the times there's this talk of, my truth or subjective truth. But a lot of people, whether they actually take the time to think about it or not, do believe in unobjective truth. And I think I've always been someone that values, searching for it and trying to be as close to it as possible, especially the truths that actually impact our life the most. But, the way that I started kind of searching into Islam, searching about Islam or even religion in general, was I had a friend of mine who's Jewish actually. He asked me kind of what my opinion was on God and religion. And at the time I was very kind of nonchalant about it, just brushed it off. Maybe there's a God, maybe there isn't, but we don't know. There's no proof. There's no way to know. And so why would we search for it? And that was kind of my stance and opinion, as was the stance and opinion of everybody around me, or at least most of my friends and my family. And so I got home that night, and that question, when I realized, I started like focusing on it more and more, and I couldn't get it out of my head. And I started to realize that I believed these things. I believed there was no evidences or proofs. I believed that there was no way to know for sure, without actually doing my own research. I only believed these things because people around me, society around me, forced that on me, right?
SubhanAllah.
SubhanAllah. So I decided to do my own research, take my opinion into my own hands. And so it really started with just looking for and listening to the theories for and against the existence of God and the Creator.
Before this, you didn't have a religion. Your family didn't necessarily practice a particular faith. Right?
Yeah, no. So
you were just coming at it like very much non-biased. You didn't have any stake in the game. You just trying to understand the truth for yourself.
Exactly. No bias whatsoever. I mean, we all have unknown biases. Right. But from the outside, my goal was a search for whatever the objective truth is. And, the more that I started to do research on these issues and listen to these debates and watch different videos, listen to talks, and read articles and books, I started to realize like there's a lot of inconsistency in the atheist doctrine and mindset. And I started to realize that it seems like it's a more logical and rational opinion that there probably is a creator of the universe, as the way that we got here today, as the way that trees are the way trees are, and the sky and birds are the way the birds are, and the way the human is in general. And so once I decided, okay, there's probably a God. That doesn't mean religion's true or anything like that, but there's probably a creator of the universe. Now let me just go listen to these people claiming to know who that creator is, and kind of go through each of these people, each of these religions, especially mainly the major ones, and kind of hear what they believe, why they believe it, and the reasons, right? And if I can find flaws in their reasons, if I can pick holes at those and find, things wrong with it, then, I'll move on to the next one. So
who did you start off with? Who was the first target?
The first target was Christianity.
Allahu Akbar. Okay. And so what did you start looking into? Like,
yeah, I started looking into, number one, just the claims, right? What do Christians believe? I mean, just that on its own, obviously we have respect for everybody.
Of course.
But just that on its own, I started to realize, okay, well, there's like 500 different things that Christians believe, just being Christian, but the main things were, Isa alayhi salam, or Jesus being the Son of God, the idea of the Trinity, a Father, Son, and a Holy Spirit. And so, even though those things seemed just on when served to me on a plate, they seemed irrational. Just the idea that there's three in one and all three are all powerful, but only one are all powerful. That didn't seem right. But if that was the truth, then I would accept it. I'm never going to claim that I could fully understand and conceptualize who our creator is. And so if this is actually the truth, then, I'll accept the fact that I have limited knowledge and wisdom, right? So I started to look more into, okay, why do Christians believe this? What do they actually have substantiating their belief that Jesus is the Son of God and that Jesus is God, or any of these things, or Jesus is even a person at all, right? And so I started to look into the Bible, the history of the Bible, the teachings of the Bible, what actually was said in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And, I did find it very interesting and actually quite convincing right off the bat. But there were still things that I had trouble with, like the fact that we don't have a consistent line or chain of, narrations or anything from the time of Isa alayhi salam's life, from the time of Jesus until now. We have nothing really confirming that what we're reading is even accurate, right? We don't know who Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John even are. They don't have last names. They are essentially people that, we have no idea anything about. And, the changes in the Bible that occurred over time, all of these things slowly started to deter me away from it. However, I did see the merit in a lot of things as well, right? Like the fact that, these are all different accounts of the same person's life, Isa alayhi salam's life, all saying the fact that, he preached a similar message. He performed miracles. He did all these things. And so while there were certain things that I couldn't necessarily explain, there were certain things that pushed me away from Christianity itself.